What's going on, everybody? Che here, back with another video. If this is your first time on the No Spoon Podcast channel, I ask that you give us a try, man. Check out other videos. Check out this video. If you like it, subscribe to it, right? If you like this video, like it, share it with people. And if you got a comment, something that you want to add to it, maybe you disagree with it, it's a highly controversial topic we're about to talk about, then I want to hear about it in the comment section. But either way, hope you enjoy this video and hope you get something from it. Now, I want to draw your attention to my shirt here. As you can see, it says Kill Crew, that's the name of the company, and then it says underneath it Inner Demons Tour. Now look, first and foremost, I don't have a sponsorship deal with Kill Crew. I don't work for them. I don't get any money from them. I'm not trying to promote their apparel or anything like it. I like their apparel. I wear it. I buy it. You know what I'm saying? I agree with the message behind it, and I'm going to explain that to you today. But what I'm talking about goes in with this shirt because the shirt kind of, it embodies my own philosophy and it embodies what I try to teach and how I try to empower people, right? It's the back of the shirt that I want you to notice. Now you can't see it from here, but I'm about to put it up on the screen, right? So as you can see, it says Inner Demons Tour, and then it has a bunch of different so-called ailments or vices and things that people suffer from, right? Um, Anxiety, depression, PTSD, addiction, anger, and then it says all the other demons from within, right? But as you notice, they're all crossed out, right? And then when I looked into the company a little bit more, it was saying that the Kill Crew had stood for, basically saying that everybody has something to kill, right? And that you're trying to kill these inner demons. You're trying to kill the anxiety or the depression or the addiction that lives within you, right? And I felt like, man, that really spoke to me. That's why I had to buy the shirt. I was like, man, I got to get that shirt because that shirt embodies what I talk about. Like, you can overcome these things. See, why this is so controversial and why it's so triggering, right, is because we live in a society today that doesn't believe that, right? We are so emotional. We're led by our emotions as opposed to logic that we think that our emotions are everything. We think that if we feel sad, then we're depressed. We're suffering from this, disease called depression. If we worry, then we have anxiety. If we are, we use some type of substances and we become addicted, and that's just something that's we're genetically predisposed to, right? We don't think that we can overcome these things. We don't think that we can control these emotions. And that's exactly how they want you to be. They want you to be emotional because emotions are often changing, and they're changed. And when you're emotional, and people can manipulate your emotions by showing you certain things, by saying certain things to you, by pushing your buttons, then they can control you and get you to move in different directions. That's the whole point of that. That's why all of these, different things that you see going on, these tactics and these political ploys and stuff like that, they're all rooted in one thing, and that is emotionalism, right? They're all being dictated by emotionalism. People are emotional, so they're easily led astray by something they see repeated on a loop on social media, something they see uh, propagated by their favorite celebrities, and they're led astray by them. See, we live in that type of society. And then not only that, but that's also propagated by the powers that be, big pharma, the mental health industry that we see being created, the rehabilitation industry that we see being created, where people believe that you are stuck in a certain mindset, right? And that if you are depressed and you have depression, that you need a prescription, and they write that prescription for you, and they make money. Big pharma makes money off of depression. They make money off of anxiety and addiction and PTSD and all this different trauma, anger, all these things that you need to take medication for. Instead of realizing the truth, right? And what's that truth? That truth is you can control all of that. See, at one point or another, I suffered from all of these things. At one point in my life, in 40 years I've been alive, I've had to deal with these things and confront these issues. And I realized something. The answer wasn't found in a pill. The answer wasn't found in some political party or some political ideology. The answer was found within me because I realized that I'm the one that opened the doors to those things. I'm the one that opened the door to depression, to anxiety, to addiction. I'm the one that opened those doors. And if I open those doors, I can close those doors. So once I started to understand that, once I understood that I created the negative life that I had, all that told me is that I had the power to create. So now all I had to do was use that same power and now make positive decisions, positive choices. Instead of choosing the road that led to negativity, I chose the road that led to positivity. It was that simple. And then you start to overcome these things. See, you don't have to be a slave to your emotions. You don't have to be a slave to your cravings. You can rise above that. You can get to a higher state of being if you just focus and you take accountability. That's the first step, is taking accountability that you did this. It's not some disease. It's not, you didn't inherit it from your family. You didn't get, that's not something that was passed down generationally. It's you and you alone. And once you do that, then you take the steps necessary to overcome them. You don't have to be a slave to that. And that's where a lot of these things, like, I get into a lot of things, because when I teach, I always teach about, like, stop saying that you're an addict. Stop saying that. And I know when you go through AA and NA, and there's going to be people that disagree with me, but I feel like the more that you keep proclaiming that, the more that you put that out there, the more that it's easier to become that. I am this. There's a lot of things we talking, like, you know, great people talk about visualization, right? They talk about meditation, meditating on what you want, visualizing how you want yourself to be. So if I visualize myself and I keep repeating it as a mantra, I am an addict, I am an addict, then it's easier to become that. But if I tell myself that I'm not an addict, that I'm not bound by these things, in fact, I attract positive energy and I repel negative energy, right? That I'm strong, I'm of strong will, I can overcome these things, that these things are small. I'm the one that let them in the door. They're at my mercy. If I want to get rid of them, I can get rid of them. You can overcome these things, whether those addictions are like to porn or to cigarettes or to alcohol or hard drugs. All those were done by your decision. Now, you might have found yourself in a vulnerable time. Like for myself, I found myself in a position where things weren't going the way that I wanted them to go. My life wasn't going the way that I wanted it to be. So instead of responding positively and being a man and standing on my own 2 feet and saying, you know what, I need to find another way. I need to keep pushing. I need to respond accordingly. I folded. And then I started hanging around people that had the same negative mindset, the same defeatist mindset, that had no goals, no aspirations, nothing. They had nothing to live for. And then we just started to that snowball effect, trying to go faster and faster and faster. And before I knew it, I was stuck in prison, right? Dealing with all those different issues, being depressed, being anxious, always worrying, you know what I mean? Being angry over every little thing, being addicted to something. But you can overcome all that stuff. Once I realized, look, man, you put yourself in this situation. You did that to you. That's a great concept. But see, the problem is a lot of people don't want to hear that. And the reason is because that becomes a crutch. If you can tell yourself it's not your fault, that it's a product of a way that you were born, it's a generational curse, it's inherited, or it's some disease that you have that you need to constantly take medication for, and continuously feed the big pharmaceutical industry, right? Then you have an innate built-in excuse for your behavior. So when you fall, when you don't stay sober, and you relapse or whatnot, you have an excuse. I'm an addict. I'm always going to be an addict. I rebuke all of that, right? And here's the thing. And let me get into this like real quick on a religious tip. And it's coming from 2 different religions, right? So I'm not trying to push nothing on you guys. But if you look at the story of Job, right? In the story of Job, the devil went to God and said, I'm going to test Job. Job's going to fall. Watch. And God said, do whatever you want to him. Just don't touch him. It's interesting. He said, don't touch him. You can do whatever you want, but don't touch him, right? You can't forcibly make him do something. And then if you look, you kind of take that and you couple that with what it says in the Quran. In the Quran, it says that on the day of judgment, that we'll all stand before God and he'll judge us for our actions, right? And then some of us will say, that's not my fault. He made me do it. And you're going to point at the devil and you're going to say, he made me do it. Now, in the Quran, they call the devil a sneaky whisperer, right? Because he's going to say, I didn't make you do anything. I just suggested it. God told you I was a liar from the beginning, yet you still listened to me. The point of the being is that these things are not making you do anything. You're making yourself do it. You're taking the bait, whether it's through drugs, whether it's through anxiety, whether it's through constantly dwelling on your problems instead of the answers. That's you and you alone doing that. Once you figure that out, that it's not anybody else's responsibility for your way that your life is going, then you can take control of it. You can take control of all of these things. You don't have to stay in that state of mind. That's the main thing. Empower yourself. Make a program. Create a program. Write a routine. Have goals. Have things that you try to work towards every single day. If you're just drifting through life, if you're just going through it with no direction, just waking up whatever time you're going to wake up, not exercising, being sedentary, sitting around, looking at social media, smoking weed, drinking all day, you're going to get depressed real fast. Trust me. I've been in that state, and it's depressing. Listening to music that's negative, watching TV that's negative, attracting negative-minded people who continuously reinforce your negative beliefs. Yeah, you're going to be real negative. You're going to get depressed. You're going to worry because you're not on top of your thing, on top of anything. You're going to worry about money. You're going to worry about bills. You're going to worry about all these different things and have anxiety, right? You're going to get addicted to something because you're going to start relying on vices, whether it be porn or cigarettes or drugs or alcohol or all type of things, criminality. That's an addiction as well. You're going to start falling into those traps. But I'm telling you, once you realize and you say, look, it ain't nobody else but me. I can get out of this rut. I can get out of it if I start taking control of what I can take control of. Stop running to the doctor and getting them to write you a prescription for every little thing. But first, take control of what you can take control of. You can take control of your health. You can take control of what you watch, what you listen to, the people you surround yourself with. You can take control of what you believe, your thoughts. See, that's what meditation is really all about. Controlling your thoughts, filtering out negative thoughts, being able to strengthen your mind to that degree. Sit for 2 minutes, start 30 seconds a day. Build yourself up. Every week, increase another 30 minutes of meditation. And meditation is really just to filter out thoughts. Try to get your mind as blank as possible. And then what that does is that when you start getting negative thoughts, you're able to repel them. Start working out. Start drinking water instead of soda. Start taking a walk. Get outside. Get some fresh air. Stop looking at porn. Stop playing video games all day long. Start doing something. Start applying yourself. And you're going to see that all these vices that are crossed out on the back of my shirt, they're going to get crossed out in your life. And you're going to realize you can kill all these inner demons that live within.